Hello viewer, you're welcome to my Beautifier Community Youth Uganda. I am your host, Jamesboy Imani. Today I'm going to speak about the topic, names of God. God in the Bible has many names, and basically these names help us to know more about His nature. They help to show more about His character, His traits, and His personality. Most people sometimes get God wrong. Sometimes they tend to misunderstand Him, and people tend to think that God is very far, a big distance far away, and almost it's a very big effort to reach Him. Secondly, there's also this mentality where many people believe that God is always out there to look for the mistakes that mankind makes and then punish them. Always looking for where people are not going right, so that He punishes them and sends them to hell. But this is actually a misconception, because many people do not have that deep, intimate relationship with God, because they do not really understand Him deeply to that level at which He wants us to know Him. But through His different names in the Bible, it helps us to see His different personalities, and it shows how we really need God in our lives because of His good intentions that He really has for us as human beings. Most of these names that I'm going to give you about God, for God, are from the Hebrew language, and majority of the names tend to start with Yahweh, or you can say Jehovah. Now, Yahweh and Jehovah mean the same thing. Yahweh originates from the Hebrew, and Jehovah is a Latin translation. So the name Adonai represents both Yahweh and Jehovah, which means master. So this is a reference to God as a master, and it tends to show His supremacy, supreme nature, and His never-changing nature. His presence, His everlasting presence. It basically shows His omnipresence nature, and this we can find in Revelation chapter 1 verse 8, if you want to know more about the Adonai. The next one is Yahweh Shalom, or you can say Jehovah Shalom. So basically this means the Lord is peace. So this is a trait that shows that God is actually a God of peace. God is not a person of havoc. He's not a person who likes confusion and disaster. So God is not someone who really wishes to see the bad, but He really wishes to give us the good. So the peace, the God kind of peace, is very different, because you could still live in this world of uncertainties and big problems here and there. Always there's confusion, diseases, war. But those who know God intimately to this level of His peace, those who experience His peace, never seemed bothered, even regardless of what happens here in the world. In fact, in the Bible there is a verse which says, we are in the world, but we are not of the world. So the God we have gives us this natural, unique kind of peace that doesn't move you regardless of the storms or dark things that come to your life. So this is a good kind of peace that every Christian believer should really experience, and it only comes from God. So to find this peace, you really need to bring God, to embrace God in your life. To know more about Jehovah Shalom, or you can say Yahweh Shalom, you go to the book of Judges chapter 6 verse 24. Now we have Yahweh Nasi, or Jehovah Nisi. So we have Yahweh Nisi or Jehovah Nisi. Basically this means the Lord is my banner. Banner is almost like a flag, something that you wave. And banner, it can also represent protector or deliverer. So this shows that we can actually trust God whenever we are facing a very strong challenge, It could be physical enemies, it could be a spiritual attack, it could be a disease, it could be a financial issue, it could be a relationship, it could be something that you're facing that is a very big challenge, and you feel like you're in bondage, you feel like you're not safe, you feel like you're in trouble, many enemies have surrounded you and all that. But through Jehovah Nissi, or through the nature of God, of Yahweh Nissi, you are assured of protection, you are assured that you're safe, because God here is your banner, He's your protector, and is your deliverer. So it does not matter what you're going through, even if it is addiction, whether it's a very big torturous problem, whether it is witchcraft, just know that Jehovah Nissi has your back. So that means God will deliver you from whatever situation you're going through. The next one is Jehovah Rapha, or you can say Yahweh Rapha. This basically means the Lord that heals, or you can say the Lord is my healer. And this you find in Psalms chapter 30 verse 2. So basically this is for those who are going through sickness, infirmities, and any problem, whether it is spiritual or physical. Whatever sickness that you're going through, just know that God, there is nothing impossible with God, and God will heal you, you know. So if you put your full trust in God, just like Mark chapter 10 verse 27 says, you will experience His healing power and you will be restored to full health in no time. The next one is Yahweh Shammah, or you can say Jehovah Shammah. This is, it shows the Lord is there. So this shows that God exists. For those who really think God is a figure that, a mystic figure that does not really exist, this is something to prove that God exists. So whenever you hear the name Yahweh Shammah or Jehovah Shammah, it is a reminder for you to know that God really exists, and if you seek Him you will find Him, because the Lord is there. That you can find in Ezekiel chapter 48 verse 35. The next one is Yahweh Jiren, or you can say Jehovah Jiren. This shows the Lord will provide. The basic simple story which can be referred to this is when Abraham was going to sacrifice his son Isaac. You remember, on the request of God, and Isaac his son asked him and said, I see we have every requirement, but I do not see the sacrifice, the offering that we are going to give. And Abraham replied and responded to the son by saying, you know what, the Lord will provide. And surely later we see that Isaac's life was spared, and the Lord provided the sacrifice, which instead of Isaac, Abraham sacrificed. So to know more about a verse which can speak about Jehovah Jiren or Yahweh Jiren, you go to Genesis chapter 22 verse 14. The next one is El Roi. El Roi is the Lord who sees me. So El Roi means the Lord who sees me, or you can say the Lord who watches over me and everyone. So El Roi means God watches over you. God sees you. Whatever you're going through, whatever problem, whatever is hurting you, whatever is your fear, whatever is the problem, God is watching you, and He is there to help you overcome that problem. So even if it is a sin in your life, just know God, you can't hide anything from God. God watches. He sees you exactly what you're doing. So the best solution here is to come to God, because there is nothing that we do here on earth that we can hide away from God. So this should be taken as a good thing, not as a bad thing, because God knows what is going on in your life. Don't feel discouraged even if people do not understand you. God sees you and sees your circumstances, and He has a good plan, and He knows how He will rescue you out of that problem. Yes. Then the next one is El Shaddai. El Shaddai means Lord God Almighty. This reveals God's all-powerful nature. Lord God Almighty. It shows God is strong, God is powerful, God is able. It actually reveals God's omnipotent power. So there is nothing too big that is too big for God. However big it is for man, to God it's not big. So you could be sick of cancer and they tell you, you know what, there's no medication, this is it. They could tell you, you know what, now there is no hope for you. Where you've reached, it is the end. You can't succeed. Or maybe you've tried something, a breakthrough, you've tried all your life and you're down and you feel like you're going to die in poverty. You know, maybe it is witchcraft, maybe it's a big challenge, whatever it is. Just know when you bring God, God is bigger. So there's nothing really bigger than God. So instead of you focusing on your problem, I think you should just remind your problem that you have a big God. This God will always make you victorious. So you are a victor with God, and that is El Shaddai. The next one is Elyon. This means the Most High God, or you can say God Most High. Shows that God is above everything. This one is a trait of God to show that God is above. You know, whatever is believed to be high up there, God is above it. God transcends everything. He's the creator of heaven and earth. He manages everything. He controls the sun, the moon, the waters, the weather, the sun, everything. God is overall. You know, God is above everything. So when you remember that God is I am, that means He's actually everywhere. Yeah, remember the traits of God is omnipresent, He's omnipotent, and He's omniscient. All those traits show that God is what? Is above and beyond everything. So whenever you hear this word Elyon, just know it is a name for God, which means God is the Most High. The next one is Elohim. Elohim is a plural of Eloah, and it refers to God as mighty and powerful. But it also shows His sovereign nature, His sovereignty. Elohim shows God's sovereignty, and it also represents God as a creator. You know, so whenever you hear Elohim, it shows God as a creator, His sovereignty. You know, His full nature in power. So Elohim is something that is a name that brings out it displays His mighty strength, His mighty abilities and capabilities, His mighty wisdom, His mighty knowledge, and His mighty works. Yeah, so it is under the creation. It shows God and His almighty power, especially when it comes to creation. So Elohim, to know more about Elohim, you go to John chapter 1 verse 1 to 5, and Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. Lastly, today I'll give you Abba. Abba is the same as Father. So Abba reflects God's loving nature towards us, yeah, like a real father. You know, we all know that our physical fathers love us. For those who have really had the opportunity to grow up with a father's responsibility, and for those who have gone through a father, they usually experience that love, the parental love. So this is Abba, Father, as a parent, and shows how He loves us and how He desires to really help us, how He desires to see us happy, how He desires to see our lives break through. So whenever you hear the name Abba, just know God is your Father. Even if you lack your physical father, even if you've ever been mistreated by a physical father, your physical father was never really there, you missed a father figure in your life, or even a mother figure, yeah, just know that God is your parent, and you can always go to Him anytime you need Him, and He will always help you because He loves you as His child. So Abba, you can find it in Mark chapter 14 verse 36 and Galatians chapter 4 verse 6. So basically the main reason of telling you these names is whenever you learn more about someone, it helps you to relate with them in a better way. Let's say this is an individual. The more you know this person likes this person likes this person is like this person is like this, it helps you to really know how to interact with this person in a better way. In fact, even it can be seen in friendship and relationships. It's very hard for you to mingle with someone before you really get to know their goods, to get to know their traits, their personalities, their interests, yeah, their desires, their goals, their purpose. So it's the same thing with God. When you get to know more about his different personalities, his interests, his character, it will help you to know that this God I'm relating to actually is a God I need to embrace. This is not a God I think exists or I need to run away from, but this is a God that I need in my life, because you can hear all these things about God show that he loves us. All these are his traits, his characters, yeah, his desires towards us, his nature. So it shows God really has good plans for mankind. Just like he said in Jeremiah 29:11, he has a plan for each and every single person. All we have to do is put our trust in him, come to him, and believe that God can. It's never too late. It is the right time right now as you listen to me to make a decision to come back to God. Give your life to Christ, and he will change and transform your life, and you'll become a new creature. Just like in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17, it says, the old will be gone and you become something new, and you'll experience God's great peace and God's great glory in your life. Till the next episode, I wish you a great time. Be blessed by what you've listened, and continue to read, because more names are there. There are so many names of God. These are the basic ones that I picked, and I believe with time you can also research and learn more. Till the next episode, I wish you a blessed time. Bye bye.